All right, what's going on, Facebook? How y'all doing out there? We wanted to run a couple of things by you. Well, first of all, this Sunday, Mother's Day, we're at the conversation piece for the Mother's Day Sunday Gospel Buffet Comedy Show. And we'll have comedian Hugh Baby. We'll have Charles McMurray II. And we'll have
Julie.
Julie Scoggins, national comedian. Very excited. All you can eat seafood. What's up, Dion? What's going on? All you can eat seafood. Mothers and kids are free, of course. So, I hope you guys can come along and enjoy yourselves. From the lover and the giver, the cougar and the cub, Mr. and Mrs. Excitement.
Excitement.
Yes, we'll be in the building. Yesterday, Judy. Come on, let's talk, sweetheart.
I don't know how you're showing everything. Wait a minute.
Yeah, show everything.
No, you don't
Show
play.
everything.
Behave. You're gonna have to move it back out.
Just got finished working on the baby.
But you didn't hear anything of the sort.
Yeah, we're working on a baby.
No.
But this is the point, though. This is the point. What?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You don't want to work on a baby?
Hush. We did not come on here to
Let's
talk about
go
that.
half on a baby. In the name, we're married. Can't nobody say nothing. But
We did
listen. Yesterday I was talking to where was I? I was at leaving work. I was leaving work with my uncle, and I got a message, and somebody said, "Can you call me immediately? I need to talk to you." So I made the call, and they were like, "I've been looking at your FB lives. I've been looking at your Facebook lives, and looking at your posts, and I just need a word of encouragement. Do you have a pastor that I could talk to for a word of encouragement?"
Wow. That was deep.
Yeah. So, of course, I turned on to Lofton, Pastor John Lofton, C3 Covenant Community Church. And, so I messaged her with John Lofton, and they were talking back and forth, and I think he turned on to his wife, First Lady Lofton, and, they were supposed to talk from there. But I thought about it like for a week now, I've been pretty discouraged, about people attending the events, less attendance. I've been thinking about nobody really, being supportive and not having as much help. But God told me yesterday that even in the midst of basically when you're not thinking you're doing your best, He's got you at your best.
Amen.
For somebody, people always tell me, you need to get off Facebook. You need to leave Facebook. You just do too much on Facebook. Oh, that's why people left you, because of Facebook. But then I get I get a message telling me I need you at this time from Facebook.
Wow.
So I just wanted to encourage y'all. There's a lot of non-believers out there that don't believe in your dreams. Shamika probably goes through the same thing, being a hostess of Single Saved and Serious, being the event planner of Single Saved and Serious, being the model that she is of Single Saved and Serious, being the spokesperson of Single Saved and Serious. And there are so many people who, sit there and probably try to discourage her on what she's doing, being the spokesperson for Single Saved and Serious. But we have to realize that everybody's vision is not your vision. Your vision is not everybody else's.
Sure.
You know, there are so many people out here that don't have a vision at all. Do you know how many people I work with? I work with people who play guitars, who play all types of instruments. They have the privilege to be on break and, you know, be on break when they're on their 45-minute to an hour break.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing nothing but instruments. And good. And you ask them what their dream is or what their vision is, they don't have none. Only thing they want to do is play the guitar on break. Mika ain't like that. Judy ain't like that. And I'm definitely not like that. But there are people out there that will tell you not to do what you're doing because they don't have nothing else to do. So I just wanted to encourage somebody, you know, to just not listen to everybody that's, you know, out here telling you not to do what you're doing. Because if they're telling you not to do it, then evidently you're doing a good job. Because if they wasn't paying you any attention, they wouldn't tell you nothing at all. So yesterday really, you know, God really put it in me and you know, made it come to light that I was doing a tremendous job, you know, regardless of who gets offended. The reason I say what I say, and I say it time and time again, is because I've experienced these experiences. I've experienced seeing somebody be with somebody for 10 years, 17 years, and not even bother to tie a knot with that person. You know, they haven't even bothered to buy that person a ring or put a ring around that person's finger. Can you imagine being in a relationship for 10 plus years?
No. I'm sorry.
And nobody puts a ring on your finger?
I couldn't do it. I never could. I don't believe it takes that long.
You laying together every day. You're waking up every day of your life
You're
like
falling
you're
into a routine without having any foundation or commitment.
yeah. So you're going to bed with this person. You're closing your eyes with this person, and then you're waking up with this person, but you have no type of spiritual attachment. And you really have no mental attachment. It's just a physical attachment.
That's a feeling.
It's a feeling, temporary feeling. And somebody has to be unhappy with that situation. And I could only imagine, you know, that experience of dealing with somebody for 10 plus years. You know, I'm a man, right? I'm a man, right?
Yes, you
Okay,
are.
I just wanted to know.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, last time you checked, I was a man about 15 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I didn't mean
But
to
anyway,
say that.
I'm a man, right? Okay. Now, I couldn't imagine waking up to somebody that I have no plans on marrying. Just waking up every day of my life before I go to work. When I come home, this person is cooking, doing laundry. This person is taking care of my kids. This person is doing everything as a wife should do. And I don't make any type of marital arrangements towards this woman who's treating me like a husband. You know. And that falls apart. And next thing you know, see, I went into a situation. Can I talk about my situation?
I guess so. Did we have something planned to talk about?
Well, you wanted to talk about there's a lot of people that's out here talking to women, 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 but I wanted to talk to the men.
Yeah.
Men, you don't have to fall into what society says. You don't have to fall into the trap that just because you're emotional or just because you feel a certain type of way that you're not a man. You are all the man that a woman would want you to be. You know, it's a lot of men out here that are afraid to even drop a tear just because of what society has told them or just because of the way they saw their dad or the way, you know, that other men view them as men. You know, and a lot of times women, you know, you're dealing in society where a lot of females don't have father figures or don't have men within their lives. The only idea of a man is on television, what they see on TV or what they listen to on radio. But I'm here to tell you now, God don't make no mistakes, right? So God didn't make your emotions to be a mistake. If Jesus cried, what makes you think that you can't? Just because of what a woman pictures you as? Who's never seen a man in their life outside of growing up? Do you know how many women there are that the first boyfriend that they ever had was you? You know, her first boyfriend was her father. My first boyfriend was my father, and my first girlfriend was my father.
What?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
That was crazy.
But I mean, he was my first. He was.
It was your first role model of yes.
Yeah, I mean, he was. But at the same time, you know, he sheltered me into how to be a man. Mm-hmm. He helped me with my manhood. You know, my daddy thought different than anybody. You know, and that's where I got that from because of the way that my daddy thought. You know, we just went two separate, different ways in our lives. But at the end of the day, like, that's where I got me thinking outside of the box because he was good at thinking outside of the box. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's where I got that from. But a lot of the things that I saw that he didn't do or I saw being negative towards me, I used into a positive. So I never saw Daddy cry, but I cry. Mm-hmm. You know, I never saw Daddy really emotional, but I get emotional. And I understand that might have been a way that he passed early because at an early age, because basically he couldn't let all his emotions out. He was depressed and he couldn't let out to people why he was depressed. It was hidden until the last minute. You know, until the end. Now, we used to talk about it. I ain't never paid that much attention because the way my daddy was, but at the end of the day, like, he was very depressed. But he didn't let it out to let anybody know. You know, to where people, you know, to now, me and Mama had to figure it out when he had his first stroke that it was depression. You know. So just imagine somebody, a man right now that's my age, that's dealing with depression and really can't say anything about the depression or really don't want to say anything about depression just because of what that woman may think or just because of what that man may think.
His family,
you know, his family, his friends, and everything else. And, you know, a lot of times they hide that hurt. Men hide their hurt and put it out on somebody else who really don't deserve that hurt. Why do you think men are dogging out women or men are dogs? They don't want to be dogs. Nobody wants to dog women. I promise you. Just like they say every woman wants to be married once, right? They say that every woman wants to be married once. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Every man wants to be married. But of course, they're scared because they don't want to be hurt, and they're hiding that hurt. They're hiding those things. So basically, it's hard to trust that present or that future woman who don't exist because there's so much going on within this world today that they're afraid to be hurt.
I posted that today.
Yeah, they're
I posted
afraid.
that about being stuck from not. I posted it in the
SSS
SSS
movement.
community group. A little meme saying, stuck between, I don't want to feel that hurt again, but I'm ready to feel that love again. And there are a lot of people stuck, you know. No, it's not just loneliness. It's literally they want to be in love. They want to give love and they want to be loved. But they've been hurt, so hurt, that they stay in limbo. Some of them are not even dating at this point. They're just not doing any of it.
Or sleeping around.
Well, either one or the other. When they get to the point where, you know, okay, I've got to have something, they do that. But some of them are just not even dating. What I call they're grinding. They're hustling. They're working themselves. And a man will do that. A man will work in order to sometimes take his mind off that, okay, I don't really have a family to go home to, so it's okay if I work 12 hours. It's okay if I work till I drop, because I'm not going home to anybody. And they're stacking the paper and they're stacking the money.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that money can't satisfy you. Who are you even spending it on the money? So you go get somebody looking cute who will spend your money. Trust and believe there's somebody out there who sees you stacking and will go ahead and spend the money. But the point of the matter is that that's not solving what God put in all of us for long-term companionship. There's something, I think, in every single person, male and female, that wants to be loved long-term without having to worry, without having to feel guilty. I believe that's inside of us. We want to be free, open, and trusting in a love. But we have been hurt. A lot of us who've either been married before or just been in relationships before have been hurt.
Mm-hmm. And you know my story and I know yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
We both know each other's story.
Mm-hmm.
But can you imagine if we were still stuck into our hurt?
Mm-hmm.
And you know that last hurt was, that first hurt was crucial, right?
Yeah.
And that last hurt for me was crucial.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just like I talked to my cousins yesterday and I was telling them, like, you know, it's very few women that you have out here that really you could really let yourself out with, that you really can just talk to and they feel your pain or they understand your pain. And they'll sit there patiently and listen. And now we had some arguments about getting over certain stuff or whatever. But at the end of it all, like you're talking about your hurt and your pain, and they're there through the process of your hurt and pain. And some stuff still bothers me to this day. Some stuff still just bothers me, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but at the end of the day, like the understanding of, you know, things take time and just waiting patiently on that person through his hurt and through his pain. You know, a lot, go ahead.
And I was saying, I believe that you should be able to see progress. I think that you are not the person that I met when I first met you 2 years ago.
Go ahead and talk about it.
That person was, every friend was like, what are you even doing? Why are you even being bothered? And I kind of felt like, you know, have you ever seen an animal that's been stuck in the mud? And when the animal first comes out of the mud, they're caked with this mud. And you know there's an animal underneath there, and there's a beautiful animal. but it's got all of this stuff, and I just felt if I stood still long enough, that a lot of that would begin to fall away, and a lot of it has. I would see little glimpses of a person that wanted to trust, that wanted to be loved, that wanted to give love, but had gone through something and needed to just take his pace. Was it my pace? No. And that's where I, as a person who loves God and who has the Holy Spirit, had to go to God and say, God, help me love this person. Not just some imaginary, this is the kind of man I want. This person who's standing in front of me that I feel has great qualities, but okay, I'm a little impatient. I'm wondering why does this take so long, and da da da. But no one can tell another person how to grieve over what they've been through. And I just said, you know what? I'm willing to take the time and be patient as long as I saw some progress. And there was progress. But, he wasn't there to see me when I was left. He wasn't there to see me with the blood pressure through the roof. And the times I couldn't even hear the person's name without clenching my fists and looking like I had just stepped on, several Legos and tacks. He wasn't there to see that. But there was a time where, just to mention the person's name, was difficult because of the hurt that person had inflicted upon me, the devastation he had left behind, the time in which he left, which was when my parents were passing away. That memory, I'll admit, is always there. I don't think about it, but there were years afterwards that around November, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I would just be the most miserable person. And it was because I had gone through that. So, but he's heard my story. He's heard my hurt. And he's accepted me with it. So, we move forward in the love we can share with each other.
Mm-hmm. And still deal with the pain.
And still deal with some of the pain. Yeah.
Some of the pain, So it's not that I was told the other day that I needed to just let it go and, let God continue to grow me. Well, God has grown me. God has grown me through the heartbreaks in order to help other people. And I noticed that yesterday that I helped somebody, somebody that I've never had a conversation with, never talked to on the phone. I don't even think we even talked on Facebook. We even communicated on Facebook, just reached out to me, saw what I was doing and reached out to me. And we knew who each other were, but we've never interacted with each other. And this person reached out to me and say, I need some help. So when you do, when you know that you went through something, and you know that the pain that you went through, and that's why I had no choice. And I say it time and time again, it's real simple. It's the kindergarten can understand that, book can understand that. If somebody was there for me from the beginning, and somebody was really being a husband to me, or a wife to me, from the you got a little bit of man, but somebody that was being a wife, from the beginning. Why not tie the knot and have her to be a Brown, and she's been there like no other, not only through my daddy's sickness, through my daddy, she was there when my daddy passed away. She was there when I didn't have a job, when I lost my job. I mean, she was there through it all, and helping me, just with Single, Saved, and Serious. If it wasn't for her, and Jennifer wouldn't have came about, and, she was just helping me bring Single, Saved, and Serious to the next level. So why not make this woman my wife as a man, and God dealt with me on that situation. Regardless of the obstacles, we're going through major obstacles that you can only imagine right now. We're going through something. but we didn't hold that back from us tying the knot. So imagine some of y'all that are complacent, some of y'all that are established, that are waking up to each other every morning, and you know, and going to sleep to each other every night, and treating each other like your husband and wife, and not being husband and wife. And who is that fair to? You know, I got hurt behind somebody who was hurt behind somebody who wouldn't marry him in 10 years. And I was like, you deserve a year, you deserve 5 months. Somebody would be willing to marry you in 5 to 6 months. Somebody would be willing to marry you the day that they met you, and you wasted your time 10 years of their life. So what do? You put that pain on me, that nobody even bothered to marry you. Y'all living together, you know, working jobs, corporate America, and all of that, you know, driving the fanciest cars,
Right.
but they ain't married. So who got hurt behind that? An innocent person got hurt behind that deal. You know, I could say it time and time again, and I think basically, how would my daddy feel? You know? And most importantly, how would God feel? And you know, a lot of people are running away from God and drawing away from God just because of their sin. And I say it time and time again, because I don't care. You can get mad at me all you want to, but I watch too much wrestling, you know? So, you know, you ain't going to affect me one way or the other. But anyway, you know, you really got to realize, man, that this is serious, man. People are hurting within their lives, and, you know, we got to quit falling into the world and fall into what God wants out of us. You know, what does God want out of you as an individual, as a person, as a human being?
And to give that hurt to God. Let Him work that out in your system. Let Him work that out. I also posted something else today, and I want to give her some props. Kim Brooks runs a group called, Single, Saved, and Celibate. And it's primarily it's a single women's group. And so sometimes I post her things but I try to post things that are relevant to both men and women, because that's what a relationship is made of, both men and women. So having all the women get all the advice, but then the men not have the advice or not understand what God is calling them to do is that's only one half of the equation, the way I put it. But she talked about how your singleness prepares you for marriage. That if you, just as you become one with another human being, you're supposed to first become one with the Lord. You are worshiping God. You've accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and you have now the Holy Spirit dwelling inside of you. So you now become one before you can become one to another human being, because literally the other human being isn't perfect. And if you're not perfect with God, in the sense that you've connected yourself, we're never perfect in the flesh, but that you've connected yourself with a source that's perfect, how are you going to be good to this other person who is imperfect like yourself? So it's in the SSS community group. Go look for it. Kim Brooks, she says, being single, preparing yourself for marriage. It's important to have that relationship, men and women. It's important because God, who knew you before you were even formed, is going to be the one who's going to mature you. Another person can't mature you. Another person cannot love you whole and heal you. I never attempted to heal Chuck Cray, I call him Cray, from his hurt. I never attempted that. All I attempted to be was a friend and sit by. But if I ever felt like, what are you going to do about my hurt? No, I can't do anything about that hurt. This is a job for Jesus Christ. The whole cartoon is like, this is a job for Jesus. This is a job for Christ, to heal a person's heart, to heal their mind. You called it one time the sores in your mind. And I said, wow, that's deep. Because we do have sores in our mind. We have sore spots. We have tender things that we don't want anybody to talk about or tread about. I remember that time you made me cry because he said one word, and the word triggered a memory, and the memory triggered tears and hurt. Had nothing to do with him. So we've got to be whole with God, with Christ. And I'm encouraging men and women to do that. Start the journey, start the process of becoming unstuck. It starts with, you know what, God, I was hurt. Sometimes we don't even want to talk about it. We just sweep that thing up underneath. There was another one I was going to post where the woman says, we get saved and we have amnesia. We have to stop having amnesia. You were hurt. It was terrible. It was not nice what that person did to you. It was not cool. You got to start there. And then dealing with the emotions that come with that.
And trust me, when you deal with a person for a long period of time, and you're with that person every day, and you're around that person every day, talking on the phone, sleeping, all of that stuff, and that person just all of a sudden just drops you,
Just says no.
and just doesn't look back. Now that person's all over Charlotte, partying, having a good time, just not even thinking about you. Probably had like 6 or 7 boyfriends if she ain't still with the same person that, never married. But I'm just saying, the point is, like, when you deal with that hurt and that pain of giving somebody your all, and the next thing you know, they drop you and don't look back and forget who you are, and you're still dealing with that pain. That ain't an easy situation.
Can I talk about a pain that I don't see? He makes me talk about the hurt situations.
Go ahead, because I'll hurt you after this. Go ahead,
You know
girl.
what?
I'll hurt you.
Hush.
She don't like for singles to really be hearing stuff like this
Because I know what it means to mortify the flesh. Okay, so
no, but
busy
that's
talking
the
about,
thing when
we're
you
married
but
now,
listen,
so,
listen,
they're still
singles
single.
for singles, and I say this to a single woman: when a man approaches you, grab him, put him in the car, take him to the courthouse, pay $70 to get a marriage license, get all his information. I'm serious,
It's
lady.
just as crazy as
Get all his information.
No, let me get back to my
but
hurt.
listen,
Let
I
me get
am.
back to
I
my
am.
hurt.
But
You're
can
so
I
silly.
tell them to go to the courtroom, pay $70, ask them, do they have any pastors that they like to refer, and they'll call the pastors up for you. You call the pastors, take the card, get the pastors, and go get married. Call 2 witnesses and get married. Now go ahead.
Okay. Now I'm laughing now. I can't think about the pain. Now the pain that you were talking about, a person, my first husband, after that he left, he got married again. In fact, at this point, he's on marriage number 4, I believe. And it was very difficult, especially the second and the third one, because he was materially doing better than we were. He had other children. They were seeing him every day. They were posting pictures on how great it was, and they were jumping in pools and different things. Meanwhile, I was raising his first 2 children, sons with autism, by myself, and going through my own health crisis that took me out of work in my 30s. So you've got to imagine, you get on Facebook, you're talking about they're all around Charlotte. You got to get on Facebook and see this person driving this great big car and talking about what phone they bought, and this is the big beautiful house I live in, and here are the wedding pictures, the full wedding pictures that they did. In fact, invited my sons to be in the 3rd wedding party, and I, as a parent, had to let them go because this was their biological father. And the hurt when you feel none of that was done for you. None of that was done. And that my children wanted to know, where is their dad? When other children, they were princess and my boy, and you had 2 sons prior. So there was a lot of pain that I had to get over. There was a lot of hurt that went into seeing somebody just move on as if nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing ever happened. And like I said, I believe that person is now married to their 4th wife. There are 5 children in total now. and all of them see, except for my two, see that man a whole lot more than my two do. So, if God is not inside me, and I know we're long on this, but this is important. If God is not inside you, that pain can fester and grow bitterness. It's just, you grow bitter. You grow angry. You go distrustful of every man that walks up to you. What do you want? God forbid he say something or smile a certain way or order the kind of food that the other person used to order. It can get crazy. But you have to be able to allow God to let you know that this is a different person. They didn't do it to you. And that starts with healing. It starts with that decision and that choice to heal.
Everybody is not responsible for your past.
For your past and your pain.
Yeah, and your pain. I use my pain into perfection. What I use my pain for, a lot of times I'm acting silly and I'm having fun. You might hear me mentioning the names. I'm not afraid to mention the names. If Judy wasn't right here, I'd probably be mentioning the names. Can I mention some names?
Go ahead and mention names. Don't bother me.
Oh, okay. Keitha Stewart. No.
Because we had the conversation.
Katera,
I was
Keitha
like,
Stewart. It's not that I'm mad at the people who hurt me, but it's just using the examples of, how to deal with the people who hurt you.
Kinds of pain
and, I think a lot of times I could be open. I want to put it out on music. I want to make a record. I really want to put it out on music about Keitha, what was done. But, God says it ain't my time. So out of my frustration, I just put it out on Facebook Live because I can't put it out on music yet. It's not my time. Book is still coming. The book is still coming, but I'm just patient with the book that's coming. It's a lot of stuff that I'm working on, but it takes a lot of patience in order to basically, work these things out. So, I'm just doing the single saved and serious thing. And I'm going to continue doing it because there's a lot of people out there that are just like me, and don't know how to work through the pain, or just like Judy that don't know how to work through the pain. And a lot of times you got to be careful of the spirits. A lot of people have these inspirational messages, but they're not always inspirational messages. A lot of times it's a dividance type thing. And, all women's conference, all men's conference. Who in the living, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Who in the living hell would want to be around a bunch of hardballs all day? Do you think I want to be around a bunch of men all day? What the men gonna do? What they gonna do? Talk about their pain to another man?
I mean, there's a time and a place for that.
No, it's not.
But I just think, like I used to tell Jennifer and I used to talk all the time. I first went to Woman Thou Art Loose in 2000. Certain Jakes.
TD Jakes.
Mm-hmm. And then next year they sent me the little card. You coming back to be? Well, how many times do I need to be loosed? I mean, they've been being loosed, and I'm hoping it's not the same women going over and over again to be loosed. But if you really are serious, and this is where we're getting down to, there's nothing wrong with all men's groups and all women's groups. No, because
my big brother does that, so I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry, big brother.
Brian McNeil.
And
Lisa Santiago McNeil.
Let me tell you about Brian McNeil. Anytime you be around him, he smiles. And he's just the happiest person in his life. Y'all talking about black men are angry. Be around Brian McNeil for a minute, and you'll really get to see that he ain't no average black man. I'm telling you right now.
But I'm just saying there's a point in which it becomes more of let me sit with the pity pat party than it is about growing, about maturing. I needed one Woman Thou Art Loose. I sat in this was years before I met you. I sat in the stairwell and cried after those women spoke. And that was 2000, I believe. And I said, God, what is it that you want me to learn, take away from this? I didn't need another one. So I'm not saying that we can't get together, but if you find that you are constantly going to these types of events over and over and over again, and you're not feeling growth, maturity, then you have to wonder, am I just getting together to angst, the angst, or am I really getting somewhere? How many vision board parties do you need? Unless you've fulfilled everything on that vision. I took my vision board from last year and I propped it up again and I said, some of these things I got. And I put a little marker right on through them. I got those. There were some other things on there that I didn't get. Now, yes, I could start a whole new vision board. But if I find myself going to 6 vision board parties, but I'm not fulfilling any vision, I don't seem to really have one or a blueprint on how to get to my vision, then we're just spinning our wheels. And that's not glorifying God. That's not actually bringing any glory to God. For you to be still bound, for a man to be, we go after the men sometimes because the women we can hear from. Women show up in droves at Single Saved and Serious. They come out. But the men, they're more reluctant. But they're also hurting. And they're also in need of a way to express what they're feeling and not feel that they're going to be attacked or they're going to be belittled on what they have to say.
You know what? I'm gonna take a few minutes because I'm gonna do a challenge. And
How long have we been on?
if you got so much heart, I want you to either click the like button or the love button.
Okay.
Or I want you to comment. I'm gonna do this right now.
Okay.
Okay. So, single women, I want to do a challenge, and I want you to accept it. Put a comment, I'll do. I want you to call every man that you know, every single man that you know. And I want you to say, I want you to be open to me. Talk to me about your hurt and your pain without me judging you. Can I get the challenge?
Can we get anybody to do that?
Yeah, I want y'all to call these men, and I want you to challenge them to open up their heart about the hurt that they've been through and why they're not afraid, why they're so afraid to be married, or why they're afraid to be, basically to be married and be attached to that one woman and be all about that one woman.
I mean,
So if you're shacking, because this is social media, and I don't want to put my business out on social. You're lucky, because I'm gonna tell all your business next time somebody tell me I don't want to put my business out on social media, because let me tell you, you're helping somebody. So if you're shacking and you wake up the next morning, my challenge is to ask your mate, why are you so afraid to marry me? If you wake up, if you go to the club, what's the name? Tom 5400.
Tuesday.
Right?
$360,
$2 Tuesdays. What else? What else is going on tonight?
Isn't there $2 tacos usually? There's another place.
Okay.
$2 tacos.
Well, if you plan on getting drunk out of your mind, right? And you wake up that next morning with somebody that you barely even know, that you had to get drunk in order to be out of your mind to make an excuse to go home with that person, man or woman, say, I want to get married. What are your plans? I'm a child of God. Yes, I like to have fun, but at the end of the day, I want to please God.
Amen.
So what are your plans? Because I didn't come here just to sleep with you. I had a hidden agenda. And the hidden agenda, the hidden motive was basically to try to find my husband.
And my wife.
And my wife, I want to find a wife. I'm sleeping with this woman, having a one-night stand with this woman, trying to find a wife, but I'm too scared just because I don't want to be hurt again.
Wow. That's deep. That's very deep. And I mean, even if you're not, and you're busy reading, even I hope you can hear me because you can't see me. Even if it's not about that you're one night standing it, we do have some Christian men and women who are trying to live holy, but they're drifting into situationships. It's not even a relationship. You're drifting into situationships with people who, if you had to ask them that direct question, could you even get a direct answer? You've been talking for weeks, months, and it's all about flirtation. But what about some of the deeper things? Like, where are you going? After a certain age, and I mean, Single Saved and Serious does really, we're at the point where we're talking to 18 to 99 if you're single. But the point of the matter is that how much time do you really think you have to drift into situations with people and not know what you're doing? And I mean, I'm not talking to somebody because I didn't do it. I drifted into all sorts of things. Like, oh, okay, well, this is the people thought, oh, here comes mom and pop. They've been together forever. But I just couldn't even see myself doing that. Okay. And I had to get to the point of saying, what am I really doing? But go ahead.
Okay, well, T-Leg, she's a member of New Beginnings, and she asks, why does every single woman have to call that man? It's not necessarily that they're dealing with each other. I said every man that they know, they may have some kind of conversation. They may have just walked by, like, what's going on? What drove you to be at this point? I'm around people that are older than me that are sleeping with, and she'll tell you that brag about sleeping with. I was with somebody yesterday that was just bragging about how many women they have, and they 44, 45 years old. I'm this woman doing this for me, this woman is doing that for me. And it's basically, this dude don't want to be like that, and this is a family member. He really don't want to be like that, But it's some type of hurt. It's something that he went through to where he's been hurt, that he really don't want to attach himself to that one woman. Or either he's still making it into the boys. You ain't got to tell me how many women you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, this is very tacky and unauthorized, but if you know me, I am on a...
What are you talking about?
No, just dropping the phone. But anyway, but the thing,
tripods so that you can just
but the thing about it is, men are hurt. I can only imagine me being around a bunch of boys. Me being around, let's say you or, my cousin Stiffy Stiff, right?
Okay.
You're my cousin. They call Stiffy Stiff.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Or something like Ronald Reagan. And I'm sitting here telling you, this woman done lend me this, and I got this woman for this. I got that woman for that. This woman doing this. I done hit a woman. I done hit a woman last night. That don't come from what they don't really want to be that way. It
doesn't come from wholeness, and it doesn't come from
they
security.
Really don't want to be that way. Imagine somebody older than me. People her age that really
older than me, 10 years older than me.
Oh man, I just hit that chick last night. They really don't want to be that way. Just imagine the length of conversation of somebody bragging 30 minutes or 45 minutes about how many women you got. What the world that's doing for me?
It's not doing
you
anything
ain't talking
for them.
nothing. You don't talk nothing. And I'm telling you about dudes now. I'm ratting on dudes now. But you basically ain't talking nothing but sports. If you ain't talking sports, you talking about how many women you sleeping with.
So what was the question? Get back to the question.
Okay.
She wanted to know why.
Hurt people.
Yes.
People are afraid of commitment, long-term commitment. That's what I'm saying.
That's what we're talking about.
But they're hurt.
That the healing process has to begin. It begins with acknowledging that you are hurt. It begins with talking about the hurt, and then allowing yourself to grieve over that hurt. And then to me, without Christ, and I know there's some people who are going to disagree with me, but
So,
how can you heal yourself with another imperfect person? I don't get it. How can you heal yourself? Another imperfect person cannot heal you. And so the thing of it is we do have hurt people, but how are we moving beyond that? And that's our story, is that we were two hurt people who decided we'd like to move beyond. It doesn't mean everything is erased. It doesn't mean that we don't have memories. We don't walk around here with amnesia. But we decided to move beyond and take that risk of, you know what, I'd like to be loved. I'd like to be able to give love safely, securely, and trust. But that's the process that we're asking everybody to do. Let's start. How many years do you want to talk about your pain? How many years do you want to be stuck in the pain? You know, I'm a person who deals with, and we talk about this openly, I'm a person who deals with disabilities. You can't see mine. Mine are all internal. I had back surgery in 2005. And so I have a little scar that shows you where I had back surgery. And if the weather's really bad, or when I had to do all that moving for 4 days, it took me 7 days to recover. But did that mean I did nothing during that time of recovery? I still was able to do some things. My mind still worked. I still got up. I still drove. The point of the matter is that the more you move forward, you keep moving forward, the healing process begins. It's when a person says, I'm stuck and I'm not moving, that the healing process really doesn't begin. And that's what Single, Saved, and Serious, I believe, ultimately was about. This person forming an organization out of his hurt. You used to say it. The round tables were like therapy for you in the beginning. Okay? And it was like, let me just be able to talk about this. Let me just be able to get this out here. And as he continued to do that, you know, he met me. And so the point of the matter is that what are we doing in order to move
she wouldn't
past?
let go. Now, imagine this. And like I said, I would put the name Keith out on the record, but I can't. But keep the story. But anyway, imagine you changing your whole life for somebody that you really wanted to be with. And most of y'all know me, till we go back. You know, you knew me. Where you used to send Katera text messages every morning about, you know, just inspiring her through Bible verses, scriptures, and everything. So we go back, right? So you already know from us going back that it's hard to really change me, you know, way back, yeah. So it's like I'm a person that really just thinks on my own, that really does. That's really like a wild animal.
Are you?
An untamed wild animal. Well, you know what I mean, baby. Don't play with me, girl. Don't you play with me. But anyway, don't play with me now. I put this phone up, girl. But anyway, I can do it. But anyway,
Stop.
like somebody that basically does his own thing, don't care what nobody say, don't care. An independent thinker. Mama even said that, right? Okay, so you leave that lifestyle, you go through a broken marriage, right? And you separate from that marriage leading into a divorce, eventually. But you fall in love with somebody. Now you think you're playing, you think it's all fun and games, you know, we're just running around being friends. And then all of a sudden this person makes it feel that they're taking you serious, right? You change everything about you. You quit crossing your legs when you're around this person. And anybody who knows me knows I love to cross my legs. I cross my legs when I don't even think about it, right? You can't eat food hot. And anybody who knows me, you can't blow your food. Yeah, I couldn't even blow I couldn't blow my food. I couldn't pick up my spaghetti and it would be a fit without me looking at it, just blowing it, whether it was a habit or not. The thing was just a steaming. It was
You
standing.
make me laugh out loud, okay?
But anyway, you know, you have to go around your parents. You have to go around this person's family, which the aunt been with a man 40 years and they ain't married. But, you know, you got to carry self a certain way.
Right.
So, and this is all in fun. I'm not, you know, it seems like I'm putting the person down. And, you know, really, I'm just expressing myself. So if it feels that way, I'm just having fun out of it. But, you know, a little bit of laughter out of it. I'm not mad at the person. I understand the person is hurt. So I really don't want to. But anyway, you have to tell the person, and anybody knows I love being a janitor. I just love the thought of being a janitor. But I can't,
Talk about it.
yeah, but no, it ain't that. But I couldn't talk about me being a janitor to anybody. You know what I'm saying? To hurt people like I'm a janitor, but I plan on changing careers. What the world is that?
Stop.
You know, let me explain the story. When my daddy and mama, like we grew up, there was always college, school, right? And my daddy had the mentality, of course.
Just looking like we're about to.
Oh yeah, we're very untacky.
We sure are.
And what you mean you like her chops? You don't like my wife, boy. What wrong with you, bro? But anyway, but you know, I grew up in an era to where daddy's mentality was just like the average people now which, you know, would be valid now, but back then differently than it would now, right? For argument would be an argument, like it wouldn't be an argument that black people didn't have as much opportunity, so they went to school. They went to school in order to get opportunities, and that's what Daddy was saying. Daddy just was always like, go to school, go to school. The black people don't get opportunity. The only way you're going to get some type of opportunity, and this was the 80s and 90s, right? So, yeah, but they still saying that now, which ain't true, right? But back then, you know, it wouldn't have been an argument because that's the way it was. So, that's the way he felt it was. But anyway, but after I made that choice and I went through school, and basically I wasn't happy, you know, and I wanted to do something different, and I became a janitor, and I had low self-esteem at that time, and I was just talking down and on me and talking down on being a janitor. And my daddy was like, that's when I first started, the first 2 years. And my daddy kept inspiring me on how proud he was of me. And how everybody that he looked at didn't basically, and it wasn't necessarily mama, but it was daddy, like there are janitors out here who are really living good. And you could only imagine they're living better than I am. And I have a degree and I have a law degree and all of that, and they're living just as well as I am. You know? So imagine me, which my daddy being proud of me, right, for taking the transition that I took, and he accepted me for what he wouldn't have accepted from me as a kid, but as an adult he accepted. But me changing my lifestyle for this person who didn't want to accept me, but I wanted her to accept me, but she wanted to accept me the way that she wanted to accept me. And they drop you.
I'm telling you, sometimes it's not so much that our stories are exactly alike, but they're very similar. My first marriage, I was always a person. I'm a giver. That's why we call it the lover and the giver. I'm a giver. I'm a supporter.
Yeah, I'm a lover. Oh, okay.
And I'm a cheerleader. You know, that kind of a person. So imagine, you know, like you said, you tried to change yourself for someone. What I tried to do is I tried to give 110%. This person never cooked a meal for the whole first year we were married. I was like, you don't even come in the kitchen. I got this. every snack, you needed something to drink. He never came in there. Never washed a dish. Never washed a piece of clothing. Nothing. Nothing. It was all about that he had certain dreams that he wanted to get to. And so I was like, I'm the helpmate. Here I am. And you give 110% of yourself to this person and to their dreams. You invest money, not just your time and your body and your mind, but you invest your money as well in this person. And this person more or less says at the end of the marriage, I just don't feel like doing this anymore. I don't want to do this. And you're like, excuse me? There's 2 children at this point. There's $40,000 worth of investment at this point. There's, our whole lifestyle was built around what the person wanted. And they say, I just don't feel like doing this. I'd rather be free. When you say hurt, and like I said, he's gotten me to talk more about this situation because there's other women who have supported people through school or supported people when they were at the lower level as they work their way up and different things. And then they get to a certain level, or maybe they don't even get there, and they just decide, time to change up. And it's like, what are you talking about? This is till death do we part. This isn't about, I was willing to go to California. We were supposed to move to California. I had been sending letters to Florida to see that if he could get into certain places in Florida. It was all about your dream becomes my dream, and therefore we both rise. And this person literally was like, never mind that there was infidelity in my first marriage as well. And it was sort of like, hey, that's not something we're supposed to be doing. And it was sort of like, oh, you can't be the dutiful Christian, obedient wife anymore. And so imagine that being thrown in your face, that you are trying to be this Christian person. You are trying to walk the extra mile, turn another cheek, give cloaks, coats, and every other thing. And this person says, not enough, or not good enough, or I want something different. And they leave. So, even though he was left after he changed himself, I was left after giving so much of myself to somebody for their dreams, their hopes and their goals, and not having someone even turn around and say, hey, are you okay? That's why when I first met Cray, a lot of my friends were like, Judy, if he doesn't support what you can do, if he doesn't support your dreams, get rid of him, because they had seen me go through that. How selfless I had been, only to be turned around and left. So either way, that pain, that hurt is tremendous. Because then what do you do? And I'm going to be real. As a person, you just don't feel like giving 110%. You don't feel like giving 100. You might give 50%, and let's see how far you come along. It's like, meet me halfway, let me see, and I'll give you a little bit more. But unfortunately, that creates nothing but repetitive hurt to other people, as well as repetitive rejection, as well as repetitive relationships that didn't work. Because I couldn't find myself free enough to give 110% again. I just couldn't. I was like, oh, you going to walk out just like so-and-so walked out. You going to take everything I got, leave me in $40,000 worth of debt. You're going to just leave me with children. So it was sort of like, and we get back to this, because we talk a lot about our hurt, but my point always is to make you understand that Christ is the only thing that saved me from living this bitter, bitter life.
Me too.
Only thing, yes, to save both of us. Excuse me.
No, you don't, through that process and through your pain, you can speak for you, because you went through it. I didn't go through what you went through, and you didn't go through what I went through. Now, I talk to you about it all the time, but that feeling is totally different. Especially what what I went through with the marriage situation, and then leading into something that I felt was going to be there for me, and next thing you know, you get dropped. You know what I went through, right?
Well, you went through that, and, we haven't gotten to, I was married the second time.
Ooh, girl.
Waited, people. Waited said, oh, no, this ain't going to happen to me again. I'm going to wait. I'm going to make the person show me that they're going to be there for me. And this person, what did they do? Oh, they were there. No, they started off great. They even called it driving Miss Daisy. He used to drive me all over the place and was there when the hurricane came and took away half of my belongings. And I was like, okay. 4 years this person was there as a friend. And then 2 years as dating. So we're talking about 6 years. I was like, show me the money. Just show me the money. Because I'm not doing this. And when got married, 1 year into the marriage, 1 solid year, and this person became a stranger. Do you know how it felt to fail at marriage 2 times? 2 times.
Don't tell your boy Charles, what's his name, Charles Israel, because he'll tell you you're going to hell.
Well, I know he doesn't believe in
Charles,
remarriage.
what's his name, Charles?
I don't remember his
about
name.
21 years old
Okay.
talking. So you might not want to say that to him.
No, but this has got to help somebody because somebody has been dropped twice. Somebody has been hurt twice. And they feel as if, well, there's no more opportunity. I know of a particular person who's been married once. And every once in a while says, I'm not sure if I'll ever get married again. Because it's hurtful. It's hurtful. I came down to Charlotte after that second marriage went AWOL. And people, I don't just run. It was 2 years of therapy where the therapist was shaking her head at me like, I don't even believe it, you're still showing up. 2 years of therapy. And I came down here and sat here for another year of trying to say, well, maybe we'll just be separate for a minute. For this person to still not even act like he did for the first 6 years. And I still don't even understand what happened. But I'm telling you that the hurt is real. When I got down here, I don't remember the whole month of June. I was just so completely out of it.
And tell them what you were doing, what you were...
I was drinking. I was angry. I was drinking. I was thinking like, well, you know, this walk with God ain't really that all it's cracked up to be because I can't even, and I mean, let's just be real. The first marriage, $40,000 worth of debt. Second marriage was a whole house, 6 figures of debt. I was like, well, every time I seem to get a husband, all I do is get debt. And I was very upset, very angry, very much like this doesn't need to, do I need Christ? I just need to finish raising these children that these people keep leaving, and I have to raise children as a single parent, and let me just go about my business. I really was. I was not looking at Christ. When I moved here in 2010, I was not particularly thinking about God. I was tired. I had a great mom and dad, but I could not even duplicate a fifth of what they were able to do. I wasn't able to do it. And I was very angry. And I did. I drank the entire month of June. The point of what we do here is being honest, because there's somebody else going through the very same thing. I'm thinking that nobody will understand what they're talking about. But yes, I was angry. I was heading into a second divorce.
Well, you know, I was drinking too. I was drinking my butt off. I was doing everything. I was cussing every woman that stepped me out, you know. Every woman that I had a conversation with would be ticked off with me after 5 minutes of a conversation. You know, and y'all think y'all get ticked at me now or ticked off at me now, and me and Ty go back.
He was a mess.
But you could only imagine, you know, what me and Ty know me. You know, we go back. Tawana, she knows me. We go back since Clinton. You met Ty, and she would tell you, like, you know, I'm good at ticking somebody off now. Imagine when I was bitter and I was hurt and I was angry and I was alone. You know, and had nobody to be accountable for that. Really, I listened to that or really check me and say, bro, you need to chill out. Like, y'all think I go ham now. You can only imagine 2014.
15.
You can only imagine those days where I was around and I was drinking, just getting drunk and, you know, just partying and just saying anything out of my mouth. Like right now, I don't even feel. I was talking to Sketch the other day. You know, he was celebrating his birthday. And usually, like last year sometime, you know, when I go out or whatever, You know, I'd be like, yeah, let's go out. You know, we'll go out, we'll club, we'll drink. But now I'm just like, you know, I don't even feel the urge to just go out there and, you know, party like that no more. You know, if I go out, I'll go out and network, but I ain't gonna stay no longer than about an hour if I stay
If you
even
stay
an
that
hour.
long.
You know, and you know, I just don't feel it no more. You know, and I don't know whether it's my age, whether I'm settled down, or married, or I don't know what it is, but the reality is that, you know, all of that has come from, I think, a learning process of the hurt that I've been through, and I see all of these people out here because they ain't doing nothing but escaping hurt, escaping
Oh, don't go
something.
ahead and call it
They're
that.
going out just
Escaping.
escaping something. So they go out and they party, they drink till they get drunk. You
Well, you know,
know,
I mean, women, we do it. We call it shopping therapy.
yeah,
We
just
go and
escaping.
shop. We know we got enough in that closet. Closet is bulging, and yet we keep shopping. We keep, or some people it's eating. They keep eating because they're empty or they're hurt. And so the food and the alcohol and the clothes and the shoes
In the clubs.
and the clubs and the various people drift in and out so that you don't have to focus on what hurt you and you know and how hurt you are. Nobody wants to really look in that mirror and say, I'm hurt. Somebody hurt me. Somebody was able to get in here and hurt me to my core. Nobody really wants to be able to do that. But yet that's where the healing begins.
And that's because people judge them. You know, people don't want to open up because they feel within their mind that people may look at them a certain way. But regardless of how they look at you, the reality is they might be going through 10 times as much
Thank
as you are.
As much as you are.
So
Somebody's
you really
going through.
can't, you really shouldn't be worried about who you open up to, because just because everybody got some type of skeletons in their
In that
closet.
closet.
You know, so you got to really realize that those people that you're opening up to, that you feel that are going to judge you, that God sees just as much through them as he
In their
does
life.
you.
That's right.
You know, and I go through that. Hear some of the stupidest comments. You know, my daddy always told me, don't give advice when you don't ask for it, when it's not asked for. You know, don't ever give nobody advice when it's not asked for. And you know, some of these people that think they went to college for 4 years, or they think they went to college for 8 years and think they got it all together, say the stupidest things I ever heard in my life. Say the dumbest things. And Daddy used to always say, people will say anything. The first thing that come out of their mouth, they'll say, and he proved himself.
That's right.
I mean, Jesus. But I know at the end of the day, now I'll tell them they're saying something stupid, and I'll tell them that I need to fire their professor for, you know, basically. But, you know, like, we can't be afraid to open up to people. You know, we cannot be afraid to start opening up. Now, first, we get covered by God. First, we're
Amen.
covered by God, and God will show you, like, the people to talk to, the people that you talk to.
Right.
But when he gives you the go for it.
Yeah.
Because somebody is going to stop you from doing something that you'll regret for the rest of your life. You know, and you got to realize that you got to be open. Like, we're open to you right now. There ain't no privacy within the home, because if I had privacy, how could I help you with my privacy?
Okay.
You know, how could I help you go through? That woman called me yesterday. I've never interacted with that woman. Never had an interaction. We were just Facebook friends, and she called me out of the blue yesterday. Messaged me out of the blue saying, call me yesterday. And I ain't rushing and say, baby, you know, a female called me and I need to talk to her. I rushed on that phone because she needed me, right? I wasn't no second guessing. Little old me, who people think I'm crazy, and I see you with your smiling husband all the time. But anyway, you know, like, you know, people think I'm crazy and I say the most ignorant things, but a woman who had never even had a conversation with me. Some of y'all think I'm crazy and had conversations with me. But this woman never had a conversation with me. She was just watching me. But if I wasn't open, if I wasn't open about my pain, if I couldn't talk to you, which somebody told me Saturday I should let that go and leave it alone. Well, it's obvious it ain't that time yet, bro.
Well, you know what?
What, baby?
I understand what he's saying, but your story, and now have you encouraged me to tell my stories, my pain. There are women and men who are suffering that need to see it, that need to hear it. And so it's not so much that you haven't let it go in your heart.
I have fun with it.
Right. You've learned to take it and make it a tool to help other people. And that's the most important thing. That we can't use our pain to turn around and help somebody else, not stay. You know, I could become a bitter old cat lady. I mean, I could have done that. I could have said, oh, woe is me, why me? What in the world have I ever done wrong? Da-da-da-da-da. Or I can say, you know what, ladies, I have been married twice. I have been hurt and rejected twice. And then I had to give my little broken heart to God and say, God, if you don't help me pick the right person, and if you don't help me heal, then what else do I have going on? So it's you got to get to the point where your pain serves a purpose. And it can't be to keep you stuck. It cannot be to keep you stuck. It has to be for you to be able to move on, mature, and help somebody else.
And that's what we're here to do, regardless. Regardless of how you feel about me, what you say about me, or whatever. Some people feel I need to get off of Facebook, but they're on Facebook more than I am.
Well, we need to
Just
end this
scheming
one
and
before the poor
strolling
people can't get
and
nothing to eat.
strolling down, and they strolling down and don't even post nothing. They just want to look at what everybody else say just to create dialogue. But I'm here, and as long as I can benefit, I'm going to be here. Even when I don't benefit, I'm going to be here because somebody needs a benefit. And I'm here, huh?
Go ahead, because you know what I'm about to say.
What, you ready to go?
It's time to end it up. And poor people.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. We'll talk your head off.
Yeah, we can. This is what we do.
Yeah, this is what we do all day,
All day
night
long, anyway.
All right, you want to make some singles mad, or you want to? No, I'm just teasing.
No.
No. But anyway, check us out this Sunday. The Browns will be in town. Mr. Mrs. Excitement, the Cougar and the Cub, and the Love and the Giver. They was like, oh, they ain't. My cousins was like yesterday, they ain't no more Mr. Excitement. No, I say it's Mr. and Mrs. Excitement.
Yeah, we're going to get T-shirts. My sister's going to get me T-shirts. They say Mr. and Mrs. Excitement.
Yeah.
But anyway, join us this Sunday.
Oh, we're going to get T-shirts?
Yeah, my sister said she's going to make us T-shirts.
She's going to make us T-shirts, Mr. and Mrs. Excitement? Tell her to put the X on it.
Yes.
Not the EX, but the X, baby. We putting some excitement in your life, baby. Them Browns, baby. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you this in front of the Facebook people.
What?
You know, I'm so honored and, you know, privileged
Sir?
to have you in my life as my wife.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
You know, we're going through obstacles.
We have an obstacle. And
yeah,
thank
major
everybody
obstacle.
for the prayers and the calls and the texts
Chris.
about our situation. But
we're in a situation right now. As you see, we're in a hotel right now, living in two different places. But you know, God is making moves, and He's working with us. I'm not afraid to tell you, because there's somebody out there. If you're more established than we are, and you're laying down and laying around each other, and ain't tying the knot, and we in a crazy situation. We're in a crazy situation. People are asking, where the ring at? We don't need no ring. What we need a ring for?
I know. Somebody asked me the other day, oh, how is it to to cook for your husband, and he come and sit down. I said, we're not even in the same place
No, we're
yet.
not even in the same
We're
place.
not in the same
So
place
just
yet.
imagine, like us not being in the same place and still tied to not, you know. But some of y'all, some people, I'll just say some people, some people are laying down with each other after all these years and not even tied to each other,
I know.
spiritually or mental. You know, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, so
And
you know,
on now.
we're gonna end it.
We'll see him on
If
Sunday.
it inspires you, please share this like you wear this. Like I say so many times, it's long, but at the end of the day, somebody needs to review the whole Facebook Live. Sunday, we're at Conversation Piece. Got the comedians in town, Hugh Baby coming from Morganton. My man Charles McMurray, homie, he can sing, he can play instruments, and
comedy.
and he does comedy, and he does something else too.
He does almost everything.
Actually,
Spoken word,
yeah,
every- all of
spoken
that.
word. He does all of that. Very smooth brother. So, you know, he's very, very talented. He's gonna be in town. Hugh Baby's under Y Square Management, which most of y'all know. Tone and Yolanda. Tone X from V101.9, national comedian. And Yolanda, he's under the same branch, Y Square Management. So
And
he'll
our
be
headliner,
blessing us, and our headliner, Julie Scoggins. You know, so I want all my Caucasians in the building because we did it just for you. All right?
Jesus.
We're doing it just for you. You! We need you! We need you!
Okay.
All right?
All right. Then.
Right on!
Are you going to be okay now?
No!
This is
Anyway.
what happens from watching too much wrestling.
Too much wrestling, ain't it?
Oh my God.
Too much wrestling.
I'll get you
Okay.
your belt in a minute.
All right, give me my world title. All right, but anyway, now Julie Scoggins is going to be in the building. National comedian. She's been doing comedy for 15 years. Very talented. You know, so I'm very excited. All you can eat seafood buffet. And plus more. It's just not seafood.
Not just seafood.
It's you know,
Those
soul
ribs.
food, ribs,
You better get there
all of
before
that.
I do.
But the place is gonna be bananas because food is gonna be all over the restaurant. Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
from side
From the
to
front,
side,
yeah,
front
from
to
the
the
bar,
back,
yeah.
everything. Food, seafood everywhere. And some of y'all go crazy over them crab legs. So it's a good deal for $18.95 for the adults and $10 for the kids. Free entry for the moms and kids. Men pay $10. You know, so go in there, bring your wife, bring your mama. You know, I'll encourage you to bring your baby mama, wife to be. You know, that type of thing. Just bring the ladies out there to get spoiled with food and laughter. We love y'all, but God loves you more. Peace.